Take 3.
Let's go.
I keep getting interrupted for my videos. I'm sorry, guys. Anyway, so my name is Erin. This is the writer scene, and today I'm going to tell you guys about how I ended up getting into magic and witchcraft and becoming a Wiccan and taking you on, I guess, this like short but maybe long journey. We'll see how far I get. At the time, I was 17, it was summer, and I was moving to a small town. I live in Miami now. We were in Miami, we were leaving to a town like an hour or two outside of Orlando. They were having a street fair or something of that nature, and my mom thought this would be good for like family time and for us all to like walk and move and stuff, since we had just been like piled in a car together for 1 hour too many, basically. If you've ever been on a road trip with your family, it gets very annoying very quickly. And this was probably like one of the 25 times that we had like been going back and forth like looking for a house up there. We were finally moving, finally found a house. Success. Okay, this was gonna be the last time, so we thought. We were walking around and there was people like selling food and there were stores, obviously, and we're walking down and we see this store coming up on our left. I guess it was, like I said, a day to remember. It doesn't have a name on it that I know of or can remember, but it's the Purple Store. I think I actually Googled it a few years ago under the Purple Store and it actually popped up. No hints at it being like witches come here or welcome baby witches. None of that. The only hint that it was a spiritualist magic shop is that you could smell like the incense coming out of the store. I don't know, I was just entranced or whatever, and I just like right into the store. I was like, come on, come on, come on, let's go, let's go, let's go. You already pointed it out, you know, you're stuck. There's no getting out of it. My mom has a very sensitive nose. She's like, no, 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 no. I'm like, come on, come inside. I have 2 younger brothers. So my younger brother walked in with me and we started looking around. And if you are a witch, you probably experienced this before, but you're like, when you're new and you walk into somewhere magical, you want to touch all the bits and the bobs. And you're like, I want everything. What is everything? Oh my God. Someone explain it to me. I need to know everything. This is really cool. I don't know what to do with myself. I don't even know where to start. Like, it was mind-blowing. It was like a sight for sore eyes. Now, let me just point out that I have always been interested in magic. I've been called a witch. Other people could sense that I was a witch since I was in like 2nd and 3rd grade. I've always believed in magic. Like, it was nothing new to me, but I, despite living in Miami, had not been in a witch store. I had never been in a store or spiritualist store specific for that type of thing. We didn't have any in Miami, honestly. I don't think we had any. We have some now, and they're still not great. We didn't have any 5 years ago. Like, I don't know. I was looking at the books, but at this point, I did not want a book. The book was not in the cards for me. And I was looking and they had pendulums. I think they have some outfits in there, not like a lot, but like maybe like some scarves or maybe some like altar cloths or something. I don't freaking remember. I literally walked around the store like 3 times because it was like so small and I was just walking in circles. My mom was like, what are you doing? And I was like, I don't know, I want something. And my mom's always done this growing up where she's like, you can get one thing out of the store, maximum $20. I ended up getting a pendulum, and I would not say that this is the average pendulum because even till this day I don't see many pendulums like this. The majority of pendulums are the little dangly things. Those things, because you've probably seen one. I'll have my editor nail a picture right there. Most of them have crystals at the bottom of it. They have like amethyst, quartz. Sometimes it's like quartz with little bits of like other crystals. I know I have one that's an aventurine now, but the one that I ended up getting on this day was stainless steel, and I haven't really seen anyone like that. So it's like just a little teardrop of a thing. I don't have it up here. I still own it, but I don't have it up here with me to show you guys. Sorry about that. That's what I ended up getting, and the part that you hold on to at the top, it was like the pentagram. I should know this after 5 years, but for somehow I cannot keep that online. I know how to do it. Terminology don't always stick though. It was really beautiful and it had this little blue dot in it. They had one with the blue dot and one with the red dot. I'm a Pisces, I'm a water witch, so I went with the blue one. It was really pretty and I knew if I left without it, I was gonna regret it, and so I left with it. I got it. It was like $15.99. It wasn't even a full $20. I took it home that day, and y'all are gonna laugh at me when I say this, but I probably was trying to learn how to use that thing for like 6 hours. Even though when I saw it and I didn't know what it was, one of the workers in the store explained to me what it did and how it worked. This is great. I wish you guys could see how crazy this looks right now. The lady in the store, she taught me the basics of how to use it. She kind of went over. It swings by your higher self, and I guess that's what she decided to teach me at the time, because that's at the time what I knew to be one of the most commonly accepted things, that it draws the energy with you from your higher self to make it swing back and forth. Some people say a ghost makes it swing back and forth. Don't really care. It was a magical tool. That was my first magical tool and my only at the time, and I think I stuck to that for at least like maybe 2 or 3 years. But the night that I got it, I definitely spent like 4 or 6 hours on that one thing and Googling it, because it's what I had. What she told me, what Google could tell me, and what I was witnessing with my own eyes and getting it to do was really effective. It was really fun. I think a lot of beginners get into witchcraft just through that, because it's not too advanced, and you know, it's not too scary or intimidating to do. It's just yes or no questions. There are other things you can do with the pendulum that is more than yes or no questions. I just did yes or no questions for a long time, and I remember aggravating the hell out of my mother trying to get more yes or no questions from her and trying to get her to do it and things like that. My brother also got a pendulum. He enjoyed it for a while, but he didn't stick to it or anything. That was like the most concrete moment. 5 years, that would be day one. I definitely did try to get my mom to take me back to that store, and I did go back to that store. I got a book by Scott Cunningham. This is a very dry read, but it sets that what is witchcraft, what is not witchcraft, and that would be, it's not Harry Potter, it's not Wizards of Waverly Place. There is work and effort to be put into things, no bippity boppity money. It talks about his studying of it. It's almost basically a field journal, honestly. I think it has a few recipes in it. It does tell you the basics of what a crystal ball is, kind of how to use it. There are other ways on how to use it, but it's not addressed in the book, you know? Like just the real solidified, boring, dried bone basics of it. You got the athame, what is it? The crystal ball, you have, I wanna say the circle. You have the chalice, you have the wand. I think in that book it's called a censer though. And you have the cauldron, which is my favorite. I've read that book probably 3 times. I know the last time I read it, it was so I could give it to some of my students. I like bookmarked it and stuff, underlined it just in case to give to them and so they could read it. It's a good book for basics, but there are definitely better books than that for beginners, in my opinion. I'll make a separate video on what I think is like the one-all be-all book for beginners, because I don't think there's really anything better than that. Do I own 100 books on witchcraft? Absolutely not. Do I know what I wish I would have had when I was a beginner? Yeah, that was the solidifying moment for me. I stayed that way for quite a few years. I would either go to that purple store just to go to it, and we lived there exactly 1 year because summer ended, I started junior year. Me and my family were back in Miami for senior year. Go figure. At one point in my senior year, I did meet a girl. I'm not gonna say her name because she does not even go by that name anymore, honestly, because I ran into her like a month ago at work. Well, there was at one point where we were friends in the beginning of the school year, and we tried to make our own, I don't want to say a coven together, but we were the only witches, but we were going to try and learn together. I still had my book, the one that I mentioned earlier, and then she had a Modern Guide to Witchcraft. It's a very pretty book. You've probably seen it in Barnes & Nobles, because I know it's in Barnes & Nobles. It's probably still in like Target, like in all the stores. When I look at other YouTube videos on witchcraft now, a lot of them own that book. I've seen that book absolutely everywhere. I do not have it because, I'm sorry, as a writer, don't like the way the pages are printed. It has like ridges and it goes, not my cup of tea. And yes, I will not read the book just because the pages are like that. The only thing we learned from that book, honestly, at the time, since it was my senior year, we learned to like sense energy. We had like 2 or 3 meetings, and we lived in the same apartment complex, so we were just on a tennis court like outside in the heat. We would get on the bus because we had the same bus together, end up at home, we'd walk straight over to the tennis court, crack open the book, sit, talk, try to practice. It didn't go well. Like, I know so many people want to be in covens, or they want to have a friend to learn with. I've tried this on multiple occasions. It don't work. Now, it's 2019. You got Facebook groups, you have Kick chats, you have amino groups. You have the Hatchling Clan is like the most active group I have ever seen in my witchy journey. I would say it's the Hatchling Clan for the amino, and then I would say it's like the Coven. That's literally the name of the group on Facebook. I have joined a lot of freaking groups to learn about witchcraft and stuff in my 5 years. Nothing is better than those two groups, honestly, that I know. I think Harmony Nice has a group chat. I'm not in it, but I'm pretty sure that would be a pretty active group. Don't know for sure on that one, but I'm pretty sure it is because she has a pretty good community, because I watch her videos and she's amazing. Also, one of the reasons I decided to shoot this video, after senior year, I ended up not doing much. I think at that point I wasn't really trying to do any spells or rituals, and I wasn't reading the book because it was the only book I had, and I didn't. No one to watch, no recommendations. Honestly, a lot of my path has been self-taught and going with the flow and just trying to figure things out for myself. I feel like nowadays people can go into like one group of 20,000 people, but when I was becoming a witch and I had to join like 50 groups that only had like 10 people in them, and that doesn't mean they were always active. Yay for internet accessibility, because without those basics, don't know what would have happened. So I was in a lot of small groups to learn what I know now. A lot of that is still self-taught, and all I can do now is like go back to those exact same groups and like share what I know now and share the experience. And it was really hard because like even 2 years ago, even the people in the groups you were in were also freaking new. They're just as new as you. Like, you guys both woke up on the same morning and you're like, hey, I want to get into this and I don't know what I'm doing. And that's basically why senior year didn't have any magic in it. But then I had to start college like a season late because FAFSA and stuff. Then I met another girl on my college campus. Her name is Shannon. She was really sweet. I literally am the most randomest and friendliest person that goes back to being a Pisces. I was walking around campus, probably coming from one of my classes, and I walked into the cafeteria, and this girl, the girl being Shannon, she had these beautiful tarot cards out. If you want to know exactly what deck it is, it's the Shadowscapes Tarot. Like the purple cards, it's really pretty. Editor, photo. She had them on the silver tables that the campus had at the time, and I was like, what are you doing? Just so we're clear, I knew what she was doing. I just didn't know if she was any good at it or if she had just bought it. Usually I just try to pretend like I don't know about anything and just see how far that takes me. So I was just like, oh, what are you doing? She's like, oh, I'm reading like tarot cards and stuff. I was like, oh, are you new at it? Because again, a lot of people don't know what they're doing. Or like, have you been doing it a while? And she was like, oh no, I've been doing it a while. Like, that's so cool, because like tarot reading is really difficult. Then she exposed me to a different way of tarot reading, and I'm really happy she did, because without her, I wouldn't be doing oracle or tarot or runes, honestly. But not that she like specifically sat there and taught me all of those things, but she exposed it to me. Like, she said it, she spoke about it. Ding, registered in brain. She did offer to teach me the tarot though, and one thing that really got me about her tarot cards is I've seen a lot of tarot cards, but her cards were the first cards that were not the old school looking cards with like the bright yellow. You've seen those cards because you've probably bought in those cards as a beginner witch and you're like, I can't read these. Rider Waite Tarot. They're very oogly looking cards, okay? Some people can read them, but not a lot of people can. She had these beautiful cards with this whole other design to them, and when I looked at her cards, they looked like they were moving. I don't even know a better way of freaking saying that, honestly. Let's say it was like the Wheel of Fortune card, right? And the Wheel of Fortune obviously has a circle on it. When I looked at her cards, even though it wasn't actually moving, it looked like it would be like turning in a wheel. And so I was like, okay, I was like, this is gonna sound weird, but I've seen a lot of stuff and I have never seen anything like that. I think I need to know what type of deck that is so I can go buy it, because that's really cool. We became friends after that, and I think the next year went pretty well of us being friends, but we are not friends any longer, and that's all I'm gonna say about that. That is honestly about a common problem that happens even today now, so we're gonna talk about that in a separate video. That'll also probably be a 30-minute video. That's how I got into tarot and oracle cards. That is also how I found out that tarot and oracle cards are sold in Barnes & Nobles. If you are a beginner witch, go to Barnes & Nobles and go to the religion section, because it's over there. And even if it's not over there, and it most likely is over there, they have it on their website. Very nice designs out there. You don't have to get old school kind. No one's gonna like judge you for it, because I think a lot of people who do tarot now definitely more up-to-date card, more vibrant cards. Since I already have your attention as far as tarot cards go, I am going to say that you don't have to memorize the card the way they are in the booklet that it comes with. Most of them come with booklets telling you the meaning for the Ace of Cups, Two of Cups, Three of Cups, Four of Cups, and then the Major Arcana, the Tower. You don't have to memorize that. There are people who do need to do it that way, and then there's the other 80% of the world who's like creative, intuitive. They can read it based on intuition, and like they get those messages from the imagery on the card. Majority of people who read tarot cards are not doing it from their memory, which I think, I don't want to call it a misconception, but it is something that people think that like all witches just have like 72 cards in their head memorized, and so when they read, boop, 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 it's just off memory. Honestly, those were like very two defining points in my witchcraft journey. I became Wiccan earlier this year. I think today's October 4th. I became a draconic Wiccan in February. Before I became a draconic Wiccan, I want to say a little bit before that. Y'all are gonna think this is so dark, and I'm trying so hard not to make y'all hate me, but I like, part of me don't care and the other kind of does, because I want you guys to learn. I don't really work with angels. Angels ain't really my thing. I started working with unicorns and dragons and demons, and you know, and learning hoodoo and root work and all the magical things. After 2 years of just being like a white witch, I started looking for something more, because I only wanted to do things that were like love and light and crystals. Like the trend for like the bubble bath goddess witch stuff came around. They would do glamour spells and self-love. There's nothing wrong with those things, but that's just not what I was looking for. I was like, I need something more hands-on, something more like charmed. I want to throw stuff in my cauldron, I want to mix it up, and I want to burn candles, which is funny because I was afraid of freaking candles, but all the things. I need to do all the things. I want it to look more like charmed, and you want to do all the cool hands-on DIY stuff that's not feel-good stuff. I wanted to learn how to do some more hardcore badassery witching. That's what I wanted, and so I ended up looking into black magic and blood magic. I know how to do those things. I do not do them a lot. I actually rarely do them at all. Just because I know how to do something doesn't mean I do it. If you guys have any questions about one of the things that I just rambled off, definitely say so in the comments so I can make a whole video about it. Something that I know people are gonna ask me because I've already went up to getting to college in my witchcraft. I have been dating. You guys have even seen on the channel before. My boyfriend, he is a witch. I don't actually know what he calls himself, because I know there's this whole thing of whether male witches or warlocks. I think he goes by witch. He's magical. He's very good at it, doesn't really use it too much. He has the ability to see auras and sense energies and things like that, but that's okay because he taught me how to do it. Here I am, basically a little over 5 years later, trying to come back into the witchcraft community, because first of all, there wasn't a witch community. There wasn't any Harmony Nice. There was no Azura, Dragon Feather. I want to say Ella Harrison wasn't there, but I don't really know. Right now I watch Magical Lady Duchess. Y'all don't even probably know who that is, but she teaches like hoodoo. She's a root worker and whatnot. Tried making a witch video a few years back, and that's not why I stopped making witch videos, just so we're clear. I kind of like everybody has probably experienced at this point, being in 2019, where they try to like make a YouTube channel and it doesn't take off. That video definitely had gotten some comments saying that I was too young, too ignorant to be in the witching community. Did not get off on a great start. It wasn't even a how-to video, so I literally just sat in front of the camera and answered like 77 pre-made questions, and I got backlash for that. I don't know. Like, you guys have to understand, at the time, most of the people in the community were, they were older. They were like 40, 50. I'm 20 now, so I was like 18 or 19 when I tried to make that video, most likely. And now I'm looking around and I'm seeing, like I said, you got Harmony Nice. She's like hella relevant, honestly. She's probably like the staple piece, the face of the witchy community, whether she knows it or not. Harmony Nice and Azura Dragon Feather. Those are the two, I want to say the two main girls. They're about the same age as me, so I feel like I should be able to like easily slide into the community now. Hopefully it won't be so bad this time. I'll be happy if even one person like watches this video, honestly, and gets through what is currently 30 minutes and like 40 seconds. That is a good startup on how I got into Wicca. I consider myself a draconic eclectic witch, Wiccan. Have a draconic god and goddess. I'm gonna make a video about that, because just saying that out loud made me realize that I need to make a video about like leaving other religions and getting into Wicca, because I know people struggle with that. I do work with other beings and entities. Like I said, I do work with demons and things like that. Let's see. So yeah, I'm a Draconic Wiccan. I'm 22. I am going to be integrating Wicca videos into my writing channel now. You are not by any means required to watch both types of content. There will be no writing, so you won't miss anything, and they will be obviously labeled like this one will be. So I guess that's it for now. Stay positive. Don't stop learning. If you're interested in magic, definitely check out or stay tuned on this channel. Check out those other channels I mentioned. I will link those in the description. You got this. If you want to be a witch, you definitely got this, you know? I look forward to seeing you guys again in my future witchy videos or my writing videos. I will see you guys next time. Have a nice day. May love and light be with you.